We're going to New York this Saturday or Sunday, I don't know, and then I kind of stay there for 2 or 3 days, and then I connect a plane to London.
Lucky you, man.
My mother lives there, and I got to celebrate Christmas there, and then I'm going back to Sweden again.
How old are you?
I'm actually only 24 years old.
Holy shit, you got a good gig.
Yeah. So,
really, that's a great job.
You know, it's so strange.
Where should we sit? Should I still, want me to sit over here?
Yeah, sure.
In the middle?
Tape recorder on? Yeah.
It's rolling and I tested it already.
All right.
Today is, what is today?
It's
December 8th.
8th, right after the program.
December 8th, and we're very fortunate and very happy to be talking to Peter Criss.
All right. So, let's see what we got.
Shoot.
Dan, did you took the paper?
You have it in your bag, don't you?
Oh man, this is bad. Here it is.
Before I shoot any pictures, I'll tell you, so don't worry. I'm not going to like sneak one while you're
Well,
not
sometimes
looking at me.
sometimes those are the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, pose. I've done so many photos, I don't know anymore. I look at sometimes at magazines, I've never even seen the photo before.
Yeah.
And I'll go, where the hell did this guy? And it'll be a European photo, and I'll go, wow, that's cool, that's a cool shot. Because I didn't know it was coming and just happened to catch it.
You didn't know that anybody shoots it on you.
Yeah, it's like, you know, when you do a photo shoot, it's like,
Yeah.
you know, you gotta get all geared up, and you gotta give your best pose that you know the chicks will dig, and
All right.
load your basket with extra socks. whatever lead singers do out of it.
Yeah.
All right, Peter. No, you left Kiss 1980. It was 8 years ago now.
80, 81.
81.
Maybe the legalities.
Yeah, the Finnish broke up was 80, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, actually, it was 78. It was starting to break up. I was already wanting to get out.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, I call it the cancer set in. I believe the true cancer set in when the four of us did, 4 solo albums.
Yeah.
I thought that was, you know, at the time, I thought, oh, great, now I could go in and do what I really like doing, and that's soul rock.
Yeah.
And I said I wouldn't have them busting my chops. And obviously they all felt the same way. But what happened was, man, now you had 4 real heavy egotistic maniacs, very autistic, very bright, you know, very creative, doing their own thing all of a sudden, taking the energies not where it should be in the center, but separate.
Yeah.
And then we come back to do a tour and like, oh no, we got to do my songs now. We got to do my song. Well, my album outsold your album, and now ego was there. And ego, we always had an ego problem.
Yeah.
Especially with Stanley.
I believe so.
But no, I mean, all kidding aside, I mean, I just think then it got to be like, maybe they thought about it, I don't know if they did, but I did, you know, holy shit, I don't need them. And we had people surrounding us telling, oh, see how good that is, and, you know, leeches, I call them.
Yeah.
At the time, I was into drugs, and I was young and stupid, and I was from Brooklyn, and here I was in limos and beautiful girls and beautiful hotels. And it was real heavy for me, and I believed that in rock and roll, the thing was to do a lot of drugs, get laid a lot,
Yeah.
wreck rooms, live in your limo, keep it out as long as possible, whether you use it or not. You know, I had all these insane rules. I believed that that's how the Rolling Stones lived.
That's
And
right.
so I read all the magazines like any other kid who wants to, you know, looks up to somebody. And I found out that's all false. But some of it was true, and I lived a lot of it, and I'm glad I'm still here and I'm a survivor. But
That's right, but that's a pity.
you know, I think then is when the trouble started again. It's like, you know, there's 4 albums now, and I saw it coming. I even quit, I think, in the middle. And we were doing a movie, this insane movie.
Yeah.
Had us flying around with, you know, bullshit, and I just seen that all that we were singing about and saying
Yeah.
was turning into a dollar, was turning into commercial.
That's
we
right,
were
that's
becoming. We were becoming what we hated the most. We were becoming right into their plan, you know. They were selling us.
Yeah.
We were all of a sudden like, well, look at how much you're getting, look how much money you're making. It wasn't anymore like Meet Me in the Ladies' Room, and it wasn't Black Diamond, and it wasn't Strutter. You know, it was those, all of a sudden we're singing fucking rinky-dink bullshit.
That's right.
That, I mean, it was great stuff. I loved the Destroyer album. I thought that was one of the best things we've ever done. Next to the Alive album, that's my favorite.
All right.
But, I even liked Rock and Roll Over. I thought it was a great album. But to me, I saw us losing that. Now we were getting big-time producers, and they were telling us to all of a sudden do, you know, why can't we do this type of music, or why can't, and we just lost it somewhere, man, in all that insanity. And I escaped to drugs and girls and
Yeah.
crazy shit, and Ace did. Gene escaped to sex, obviously, and Paul
That's
escaped
always.
to himself, which he
That's right.
always wanted to do. And that's okay, because that's what we were in makeup. Paul was the rock star, the ultimate rock star. He was the star, and he could play it, and he played it the best. Gene was your monster.
Yeah.
You got to think about it. Gene was the big menacing
that way, yeah, sure.
guy that grabbed
Yeah,
Beauty and the
the
Beast.
demon,
You dig?
Yeah.
And then I was the cat, and I was real fluctuating. I was insane. I'd be bouncing around. I'd be on my own. I'd be doing this and that, and I had a bad temper. And Ace was a space cadet, perfect.
That's right.
Because he was.
He was in space out. He always.
And so that to me was the most exciting time of my life. It's over now. I don't see anything that turns me on with them anymore. It's a Gene and Paul band, obviously.
That's right. It's not Kiss
So
anymore.
it's sad.
But anyway,
That's the start of the breakup for me.
That's right. You've done 2 solo albums since you left Kiss, and actually they wasn't released in Europe, but that was about all. There wasn't that good push from the record company,
Well,
There was,
why.
one day it was an album, Peter Criss solo album, Out of Control, and then Let Me Rock You, and that was all we hear about.
We call that in my family the pacifier albums.
Pacifier.
Yeah, absolutely. It was like, do you honestly think that the 3 of them together now and me out, that they were going to let me become a success in any way? Especially with Beth, they hated me for it.
Yeah, I know.
It's like almost, even though Gene will say to me, well, Mr. Intellectual, I was made for love with you, outsold Beth. That's true, absolutely.
All right.
But Beth was much more popular, and I got a People's Choice,
so
and
many
people
different-
remember it, and people sing it still on the
That's
radio.
right.
They got so hot up, they had Eric do it.
You get a lot of new fans. In that
It's
song.
sad, and so it's lousy when it's like that, but they made it real tough for me, and then when I did Out of Control, I must admit I was out of control. I was with Stan Penridge, I was doing a lot of drugs, a lot of narcotics. I was totally out of my fucking mind.
All right.
Went into, I did one of those Out of My Fucking Mind albums. But a lot of guys do that. I'm not the only guy.
Everybody's
I used to
entitled to
think, that's right, that's it. That's it, man. But I did it. Now, some fans I'll meet, they're absolutely crazy about it. But those are usually the diehards. I could hear now if I redid it, it would be much different. And then I did the Let Me Rock You album. I love that album. I thought that was going to do terrific for me. And then all of a sudden they released it in Europe, because it was better than the Let Me. It was done with Vinnie Ponce again.
Yeah.
It was a good close friend and a good producer. And we did it, we used great guys on it, and I was a lot straighter on it. And then when that crashed, then they they fucked that up for me. I totally fell apart and just fell into drug land.
Yeah.
And that's where I lived for quite a lot of years.